Hey guys, Marissa at kitchentablestamper.com. You are joining us in the first video of our Just My Type Stamp-A-Stack. So this is our Stamp-A-Stack. It's a 4-part series. We're going to start with You Hold the Key to My Heart. That'll be video number 1. Video number 2 is this hello card, and you'll notice that these are the same layout. Video number 3, thank you. And the 4th video in the series, I hope your day is filled with sunshine and rainbows. All right, so we're gonna start with For You, and this is the Just My Type stamp set. We're featuring this one. Of course, you can switch out for any other stamp set that you like with a general card sending theme. Just use a little creativity and the layouts, and this card kit can work with many different stamp sets that you might already have. Now the video series is free on the blog. If you're watching on YouTube, the project description, you'll be able to go to the blog and print our Wonder recipes. And if you are interested in a class packet to follow along, check out kitchentablestamper.com/shop. These class packs will be available while supplies last. And let me show you the class pack. We have at Kitchen Table Stamper, we start with a label that tells you the name of the class and the month and year that it was produced, just in case you put this pack in a drawer or on a shelf and you come back to it later. So you can just go to the blog, sort by June 2023, and find the Just My Type Stamp-A-Stack class there. Or you can scan the QR code to go to the first video or the first post in the series, or you can use this short link. All right, so that's how we label. Inside this packet, you'll find a full 5-yard spool of the Misty Moonlight ribbon, half a pack of festive pearls. You'll find a quarter or an eighth of a pack, 2 each 6x6 sheets of the Delightfully Eclectic Designer Series paper. Now this is one of those mega packs. That's $30. It's 48 sheets. So if you've had your eye on this paper, but you're like, maybe it's too eclectic for me, this class pack is a great way to get 2 of each sheet to play with and a card class that'll get you started cutting it right away and using it. All right, so that is the Delightfully Eclectic paper. We do your card bases for you. We cut them and score them, and the class kits are in mailing envelopes. These are Stampin' Up! Envelopes, and we do a lot of your die cutting and punching for you. We only do basic shapes. We do not do any stamping or cutting that's with the featured stamp set or bundle. So you'll find that your pieces for the basic stamping and die cutting are done for you. This packet makes 8 cards, and it is a Wonder recipe Stamp-A-Stack. So 1 sheet Wonder. You get all of the cardstock that you need for your stamping and cutting with the featured stamp set, in this case Just My Type. And last, you're going to get this Expressions in Ink ephemera. There's 5 sheets of gorgeous foil embellishments here included in this kit for you. So this kit is packed with product. You're going to have lots of Designer Series paper left, you're going to have lots of ribbon left, and you're going to have lots of ephemera left for more cards. All right, let's get started here with our Designer Series paper. So I chose 4 patterns from the Delightfully Eclectic, and we're gonna cut them according to Wonder recipes. This is Wonder recipe number 25. So if you're a Kitchen Table Stamper follower, you know that this is a brand new recipe. All of the 1 sheet Wonder cutting diagrams are available at kitchentablestamper.com on the blog, and you can download them in PDF form or print them. All right, so we're gonna cut this ledger paper according to Wonder recipe number 25. And simple, we're gonna cut 3 inches. Watch your orientation of this ledger paper, because you do want it to run in a way that makes sense. And then we're gonna cut our ledger paper that was 3-inch squares, so at 3 inches and half at 3 inches, half at 3 inches again, and then for the rest of this page, we're gonna stack it and cut at 1.5. All right, so there are our ledger pieces. And now we're going to move on to our second and third patterns. I chose these big patterns and wanted to use some big chunks of these. You kind of have to. And I thought it would be fun to use these patterns in our Stampin' Stack to show you a way to use some of these large scale patterns on cards. They're really great for scrapbooking, these large scale patterns, but they're wonderful for cards too. So we're going to use Wonder Recipe number 7 for these 2 large patterns. And because this paper trimmer can absolutely handle 2 sheets at a time, we're going to go ahead and do that cutting. So we have our designer series papers stacked. They're in and the paper trimmer at 4 inches. We'll cut, set this one aside for a second, flip. We're going to cut this at 3 inches in half, and then we're going to cut this one in half at 3 inches. There is patterns 2 and 3 for our Stampin' Stack. Now we're going to use 4 patterns. The next one we have is a plaid, and we're going to cut this plaid according to Wonder Recipe 16. We're going to modify it just a little bit though. We're going to take this and cut it in half at 3 inches. Then we're going to stack the halves. And we're going to rotate to the 6-inch side, and we're going to cut 1 inch. And then we're going to cut 1 1/4 inches. And then we're going to cut 1 1/4 inches again. Now this is where we are going to quit. We're going to leave these 2 chunks just a little bit bigger. We're modifying Wonder Recipe 16. The nice part about these Wonder Recipes is they are a place to start. They are not necessarily a place to stop. You can leave parts together and not make the cuts. You could cut parts in half. Whatever cuts make sense for your cards to come together, right? So now we're going to grab our class packet and get our crushed curry card bases. And we're going to get the pieces that we need for these 2 cards. So I'm going to set my envelopes aside for now. Sometimes I use the envelopes to keep the pieces separated. So I might deal out all my pieces and then put them in the envelope as I'm assembling cards. So you can definitely use those for organization as you're doing these Stampin' Stacks. So for this one, we're going to use that big chunk of the daisy and 2 smaller pieces, one of the ledger, one of the plaid. So we'll need a plaid for each one. Then we're going to use the 1 1/4 by 3. And then we need a ledger piece and a daisy piece. So let's grab those daisy pieces. And I just leave all the other pieces right on the grid. And then a ledger piece. Said it cleaned up my other ledger piece. There we go. All right, now set your grids aside for the next designs. I've got a bone folder. Let's work these score lines with the bone folder. I always do them inside out and then right side in. That just kind of softens up the fibers and allows us to just pull the ends of the card. So we've got a nice square fold. And now we'll add our designer series paper with liquid glue. I love this layout. I've never used this layout before. I think it's going to end up a shortcut card sketch. If you guys aren't familiar with the shortcut card sketches, that's the other resource, printable resource that we have available for free. Besides the one sheet wonders, the Wonder Recipes, we also have card sketches that are available for you to just download and save as PDFs or print, and you can make yourself binders like I use. All right, one more time. we go. These printable resources, the One Sheet Wonder, the card sketches, are available for free, and there's a growing collection at kitchentablestamper.com. All right, let's do some stamping. I'm going to grab my Memento ink and Stampin' Pierce mat, and let's add "You Hold the Key to My Heart" greeting on the bottom here. I like to get the greeting on since it's directly on the card. Very early in the game. We needed the designer series paper so we could follow the angle, but very early in the game, just in case there's any mishaps. When I'm stamping directly on the card itself. There we go. If we do it very early in the game, we haven't added any other effort to this. And in case we stamp uphill, downhill, get a halo, there's something that requires restamping. If you do it early in the game, you don't have as much to kind of backtrack and fix if the greeting goes wrong. But the greeting stamped directly on the card base like that really is one of the things that's kind of the charm of this Stamp-A-Stack, if you ask me. All right, we're going to get some more ink here. I've got Petal Pink, and then you've got a quarter of a sheet of Petal Pink cardstock in your packet. And then several sheets of Very Vanilla. And let's do some stamping here. I've got the little heart for our typewriter. And we're gonna do 2 of those. Now, by the magic of television, I have the second one already stamped and cut. It makes the video editing so much easier. But you're gonna stamp your one for each copy of the card. And we need to stamp a little pot for our plant. So cute. And little plant for our pot. Oh, I almost forgot my Misty Moonlight ink. Okay, so Misty Moonlight, Petal Pink, and Memento Tuxedo Black. You're gonna stamp 2 plants. And how about a typewriter? Gonna get our typewriter and Misty Moonlight. Take your time and really make sure that this is inked well. You don't want any splotchy spots. You can absolutely use your Stamparatus here to make sure that if you don't get a really good solid blue image, you could just ink and restamp. So keep that in mind though. Good ink coverage. And then just pausing to let the ink transfer while you kind of walk your fingers over. It's going to give you your best possible solid image. Take your time and then lift. Not too bad, not too bad at all. Then the paper. I've got a little sheet of paper for our typewriter. Let's see, I could put that there. And then my favorite, look at the tiny little paper clip. Wait till you see. All right, so we're gonna stamp the tiny little paper clip off the top of our paper. I just love it. Envelopes, we need 4 envelopes, 2 for each of this card design. Now, if you're no stranger to our Stamp-A-Stacks, you know that I say, if you're doing this, if you're doing the packet, stamp all of your envelopes that you need for all of your cards. Stamp all of your flowers in the crushed curry and petal pink that you need for all of your cards. Batchwork these cards. That's the idea behind the Stamp-A-Stacks, is that you can do all the stamping at once, all the cutting at once, all of the designing or gluing designer series paper at once. It really does make a difference. You get a lot of cards, a lot of really nice cards really fast. All right, so I think that we've got everything that I want for now. We're gonna have to come back and stamp for you. So I'm gonna put the top on the Memento, slide it up here. I don't want any ink catastrophes, and we're gonna cut these out. All right, I'm gonna fussy cut these pieces. When I fussy cut them, I'm gonna leave on all of them the slightest little border outside of the line. So you're gonna see a little vanilla around the edge, or you're gonna see a little petal pink around the edge. And I'm just gonna fussy cut them all out. There's a couple of little exceptions when I cut the plant and I cut the paper. I'll leave a little glue tab at the bottom so that I can put the plant in the pot and the paper in the typewriter. So I will just zip these out and then show you what we've got. Okay, so we've got all of our pieces here, and then by the magic of television, I've got my second copy of everything all ready here, and we're going to add some dimensionals to the back of some of these items. Going to put a dimensional on the back of my little heart and see, we can pop that right on. But first what we're going to do is see how we cut this out with a little vanilla border but left a glue tab. We can add this to the typewriter now, and then once we've got it added to the typewriter, let's grab the For You stamp and the Stampin' Pierce mat. We're going to add the greeting onto the typewriter. Now is a better time to add that greeting because we can see where to position it. So I've got my Memento ink, and we'll just stamp For You on the paper. Ha, so cute. Now we can go ahead and add the heart for a second. Cute. Now we got a typewriter for each card. Let's get this guy out of here. And we've got 2 envelopes for each card. I'm going to put a little mini dimensional on the back of each. Let's assemble our little plant the same way we did the typewriter. So we left a little glue tab and put a dot. Then we'll assemble the plant. Now, if you wanted to line these, stamp the blue, then stamp the pot in black and make all one piece, you can do that. I'm better at fussy cut and reassemble than I am at trying to line up the pieces, even with photopolymer. So you do how you are working to your strengths. Let's put some dimensionals on the back of the plant. I'm going to put one little mini dimensional where it covers where the 2 parts come together, and that gives us a little extra strength for our little plant. All right, let's set this guy aside. Bring our cards back in. Now we're going to work with our ephemera. So you get 5 sheets of this gold ephemera, and you'll see that you'll have some hexagons, some irregular hexagons, different leaves, some with sprigs, some plain sprigs. Now you are going to mix and match these and pick and choose whatever you like. You'll see this one has the 2 leaves that are popped right out of there, and then the small hexagon. This one has the large hexagon and the 3 leaves. So just a hexagon piece and a leaf piece for each of your designs is what you want here. So go ahead and pick, mix and match. They're kind of delicate, so pop them out carefully. And then in the center here, you'll find there's a little hexagon and a solid hexagon. So hold on to this one for another project. That'll go great with all of your bees that you've collected over the years. If you've been following me, you've collected a lot of bees because I love anything with a bee theme. It makes really good treats. So hold on to those. And then these little bits right here, if you want to keep these little cutouts to use somewhere, they make good little brackets. Let me show you once I pull them out of here. So if you wanted to keep these little brackets, you could definitely use them peeking out from underneath a layer or something else. That's up to you if you want to keep those tiny bits of gold. In between the hexagons, you get another fun hexagon shape. Might be neat to put a sentiment inside that frame. It's just a very interesting little pack of embellishments here. Well, I shouldn't say little, it's a big pack of embellishments, and you're going to have plenty left over to play. All right, I've got my ephemera chosen. Now for ephemera, you want to be very careful with glue, because if you have a gluey finger, wet glue, you will smudge the finish on these pieces, and there's no way to get it back to fresh again. So what you want to do is use your glue very sparingly, or make good friends with glue dots. All right, and so we are going to make good friends with glue dots. Let's slide this here, and I'm going to put on the stem of my little leaf a little glue dot, and here I'm going to put a little glue dot on the stem. All right, so hold on to those for just a second. Now my typewriters are kind of that main anchoring piece, and I want the leaves to kind of come out the bottom of the typewriter, and the ephemera to tuck underneath it. So here's another tip. You can use your liquid glue and put it on the back of your typewriter, because you're going to add that. If you want to use a dry adhesive, that works here too. Now what you want to make sure is that at that corner where it's going to go over your ephemera, just add a little extra glue. Then you're going to line up these two pieces together. I think I like that placement. And that little extra glue that you put on the back of the typewriter is going to seal down the ephemera. Now we're going to take the sprig of our choice. It's got a little glue dot, and we're going to just very minimally lift this corner a bit and tuck in the sprig. Now we've got the sprig, and it goes over the ephemera a little bit, so you're looking for opportunities where you can sandwich just a little bit more support for that ephemera without getting all gluey. So we're going to add a mini dimensional on the end of this sprig, and that's going to further secure down that hexagon. Now we're going to bring in our little potted plant, and that is going to even further secure down that hexagon. So we'll remove the dimensionals we put on that potted plant, and we're going to put that right over our ephemera, giving a little bit more security to this piece without smushing a bunch of glue on it. See? All right, while we're at it, let's put our envelopes. And you'll see, even though we're using the same ephemera, we've got a different one here, we've got a little different placement of our envelopes. Each one of these cards is going to start to show their own characteristics, and that is okay. All right, let's get this one caught up. All right, our little potted plant for this guy. Now you might say, wait, hold on, there's a glue dot sticking out from there. That's okay, because next step is our bow. We've got the cotton ribbon. You get a full 5-yard spool. There's lots of ribbon here. We're going to make a tiny little bow for each of these cards. So just loop, swoop, tuck and pull. Get some ribbon scissors, and we'll cut that away. This Misty Moonlight ribbon is a great match to your delightfully eclectic designer series paper, which you're going to have 2 6x6 sheets of every design. So you'll get a lot of use out of this Misty Moonlight ribbon with that designer series paper. Now you're going to add the little bow with the ephemera, and then the last piece left is our little daisy. So we're going to do this guy with a bit of dimensional. I have a half a dimensional right here. I'm going to put it right up next to the bow. And then I have a mini glue dot. We're going to put a mini glue dot on the bottom half of the flower, peel the dimensional, and then pop the flower on so that the mini glue dot is on the ribbon and the dimensional supports the rest of the flower. Pretty cool, huh? All right, in your packet you get a half a pack of these festive pearls. I'm gonna start by using up the ones that I have started here, but we're going to add pearls to this. I've been doing 5, and I love the silver, the gold, or the green. The green is going to match your light lagoon in upcoming videos really nicely. So I'm going to hold off on the green for one of those where we do the flowers coming out of the typewriter, but I'll do silver and gold on this video. I'm going to do 2 here and then 3 kind of in a triangle placement over here. All right, so there's silver, here's gold, here's the green, and I think they all just look really wonderful. Let's do gold over here. All right, there it is for you. You hold the key to my heart. If you've got any questions about the project, the wonder recipes, if there's anything I can do to help you stay crafty, email Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. To see if we have packets left for this Stamp-A-Stack, buzz over to kitchentablestamper.com/shop. And to shop Stampin' Up! 24/7, you can buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. I'll see you in video number 2, where we'll make this hello card. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.